The 2024 presidential election is shaping up to be one of the most consequential in recent history. Voters are turning out in record numbers, driven by the high stakes and the stark choices before them. Former President Donald Trump is staging a comeback bid, fueled by his loyal base and a message of economic populism. His rallies are packed with enthusiastic supporters who believe in his vision of restoring America's greatness. Standing in his way is Vice President Kamala Harris, the Democratic nominee who is emphasizing her experience and commitment to unity. Harris is drawing large crowds as well, with supporters who see her as a beacon of hope and progress. Polls show a race that is too close to call, with both candidates holding narrow leads in different battleground states. Analysts are predicting a nail-biting finish, with every vote potentially making a difference. The stakes are incredibly high, with the future direction of the country hanging in the balance. This election could redefine America's role on the global stage and its internal policies for years to come. The country is deeply divided, with passionate supporters on both sides. Conversations about the election are happening everywhere, from dinner tables to social media platforms. Trump's supporters are drawn to his strongman persona and his promises to restore America's greatness. They believe he is the leader who can bring back jobs and strengthen the economy. Harris's supporters believe she represents a more inclusive and hopeful vision for the future. They are inspired by her commitment to social justice and equality. The election will be a referendum not just on the two candidates, but on the very soul of America. It will test the nation's values, its resilience, and its commitment to democracy. While the presidential race grabs the headlines, capturing the attention of millions of voters and media outlets, the battle for control of the Senate is equally important, if not more so, in shaping the future of the nation. The Senate holds the power to confirm or reject presidential appointments, including cabinet members, federal judges, and Supreme Court justices. This means that the Senate can influence the judiciary and executive branches for years to come. A Senate controlled by the opposition party can effectively block a president's agenda, as seen during the Trump administration when Republicans held a majority. This can lead to significant legislative gridlock and impact the implementation of key policies. The Senate also has the power to approve or reject treaties, and it plays a crucial role in the legislative process. This includes shaping foreign policy and determining the country's stance on international agreements. Any bill passed by the House of Representatives must also be passed by the Senate before it can become law. This bicameral system ensures that both chambers must agree, adding another layer of scrutiny. With the House of Representatives likely to remain closely divided, control of the Senate could determine whether the next president can enact their legislative priorities. The balance of power in the Senate can make or break a president's legislative agenda. In a time of deep partisan gridlock, the Senate's role as a check on presidential power and a co-equal branch of government has never been more important. Its ability to act as a counterbalance to the executive branch is crucial for maintaining the democratic process. Going into the 2024 election, Republicans are optimistic about their chances of retaking the Senate. The party only needs to flip a net of one seat to win control, and several Democratic incumbents are facing tough re-election battles in states that Trump won in 2020. Furthermore, historical trends suggest that the party out of power often gains seats in midterm elections. Democrats are facing an uphill battle, but they are hoping to defy the odds by capitalizing on the unpopularity of some of Trump's endorsed candidates. They are also banking on strong turnout from their base, particularly black voters and young people. The outcome of the Senate races will depend on which party is more successful in mobilizing its voters and persuading independents. The battle for the Senate will be fought on multiple fronts, with several key states emerging as crucial battlegrounds. In Pennsylvania, Democratic incumbent Bob Casey is facing a strong challenge from Republican David McCormick. Wisconsin will also be a closely watched race, as will Ohio and Arizona. These races are all considered toss-ups, and the outcome could hinge on factors such as candidate quality, local issues, and national trends. The outcome of these races will determine which party controls the Senate and could have a profound impact on the direction of the country for years to come. Section 5. Early voting whispers, clues to a still uncertain outcome. With Election Day fast approaching, both campaigns are closely watching early voting trends for any indication of which way the race might be leaning. Early voting allows voters to cast their ballots in person or by mail before Election Day, and it has become increasingly popular in recent years. While early voting data can provide some insights into the electorate's mood, it is important to note that it is not always a reliable predictor of the final outcome. In 2020, for example, Democrats built up a significant lead in early voting, but Trump was able to close the gap on Election Day. The 2024 election is likely to be just as close and unpredictable, and the outcome may not be known for days or even weeks after the polls close. Section 6. The power of the people. Voter turnout as the deciding factor. In a close election, every vote matters, and voter turnout can make the difference between victory and defeat. Both the Trump and Harris campaigns are working tirelessly to get their supporters to the polls, and they are focusing their efforts on mobilizing key constituencies. For Democrats, turning out black voters, young people, and Latinos will be essential. Republicans are hoping to counter this by mobilizing their base of white working-class voters and evangelical Christians. The party that can most effectively motivate its base and persuade undecided voters to turn out will be in a strong position to win. Section 7. A Republican Senate, a Trump presidency, a glimpse into the future. If Republicans were to win control of the Senate and Trump were to win the presidency, it would represent a significant shift in the balance of power in Washington. With a Republican Senate, Trump would have a much easier time enacting his agenda, including appointing conservative judges and passing tax cuts. A Republican-controlled Senate would also be likely to be more receptive to Trump's foreign policy agenda, which has been characterized by a focus on America First principles. A Trump victory, coupled with a Republican Senate, would likely embolden the conservative movement and lead to a more rightward shift in American politics. Section 8. Beyond the White House. Senate control and the balance of power. Control of the Senate is not only important for the presidency, but for the overall balance of power in Washington. The Senate's composition can significantly influence the direction of national policies and the effectiveness of governance. The Senate plays a crucial role in confirming presidential appointments, including cabinet members, federal judges, and Supreme Court justices. These confirmations can shape the judiciary and executive branches for decades. A Senate controlled by the opposition party can effectively block a president's agenda, as seen during the Trump administration when Republicans held a majority. This dynamic can lead to significant political standoffs and impact legislative productivity. The Senate also has the power to approve or reject treaties, which can affect international relations and national security, and it plays a crucial role in the legislative process. The Senate's deliberations and decisions can shape the final form of legislation, impacting everything from healthcare to infrastructure. Any bill passed by the House of Representatives must also be passed by the Senate before it can become law. This bicameral system ensures thorough scrutiny and debate of proposed laws. With the House of Representatives likely to remain closely divided, the Senate's composition becomes even more critical in determining legislative outcomes. Control of the Senate could determine whether the next president can enact their legislative priorities. The ability to pass significant reforms or initiatives often hinges on Senate approval. In a time of deep partisan gridlock, the Senate's role as a check on presidential power and a co-equal branch of government has never been more important. Its ability to mediate and negotiate is crucial for maintaining democratic balance. The Senate's influence extends beyond legislation. It is a vital institution for upholding the principles of checks and balances, ensuring that no single branch of government becomes too powerful. Section 9. Election night uncertainty, bracing for a long count. As the 2024 election approaches, it is becoming increasingly clear that Americans may not know the winner on election night. The rise of early voting and mail-in voting has led to longer counting times in recent elections, and this trend is expected to continue in 2024. In some states, election officials are not allowed to begin counting mail-in ballots until Election Day, which can further delay the process. Additionally, close races may trigger automatic recounts, which can take weeks to complete. It is important for voters to be patient and to allow election officials to do their jobs. The integrity of our elections is paramount, and it is essential that every vote is counted accurately. Section 10 to the morning after. What happens after the votes are counted? Once the votes are counted and the winners are declared, the real work begins. The new president will face a daunting array of challenges, from the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic to the climate crisis to the rising cost of living. The new Senate will also have its work cut out for it, as it will be responsible for confirming the president's cabinet nominees and beginning work on the legislative agenda. The 2024 election is a pivotal moment in American history. The stakes are high, and the choices we make will have far-reaching consequences. It is essential that all Americans participate in the democratic process by registering to vote, casting their ballots, and making their voices heard. The future of our country is in our hands.
So hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications, and let's turn the page on a new adventure together. Get ready to experience books like never before, only on VBook 360. Like, comment, and share to support the channel and keep the video magic alive. Thank you for stopping by. And remember, every video has a story, and every story deserves to be shared. See you in the next video.